So Ricoh just announced this past Thursday a whole new slew of information about their new film camera for this upcoming year, so let's dive into it. The video starts with Takeo Suzuki explaining how grateful Ricoh has been for the support, despite the challenges that they face when developing a new camera, and even at times questioned if they'd truly be able to create the product they had intended to. He explains they want to create a camera that young photographers enjoy taking photos as they enter the film world, which I think foreshadows the majority of the rest of the video. He continues on to say that the camera will be a half-framed camera, which, as many of you know, means it shoots 2 photos for each normal frame, effectively doubling your exposures from 24 and 36 to 48 and 72 photos. With a younger, social media-based audience in mind, he says that vertical formatted photos are much more useful for social media, which makes sense. Additionally, with the current price of film and this being aimed at a younger group, the idea is that doubling your exposures means you're paying for film less often. The camera is also planned to feature a fully automatic mode, a couple zone focusing features, some manual control, and manual film winding and advancing levers. The camera, as inspired by the Ricoh Auto Half and Pentax SBO Mini, will have a lens something similar to those, but nothing concrete yet. I'm guessing some sort of 25mm like one of those had, or something close. Takeo goes on to say how they wanted to combine some of the automatic and manual controls of cameras to allow this more entry-level photographer to easily enjoy some of the best elements of both modern and past cameras. One thing that seems to be an important notion for them is the mechanical robustness that comes with the manual advance lever and shooting options of a manual camera. And that pretty much covers the majority of the 10-minute video. He goes on to explain some of the risks that have been accompanied with developing a new camera, but also his gratefulness towards the film community as a large. While I know it does seem kind of disappointing, I guess, initially, especially to more seasoned photographers like myself included, but honestly, it makes sense with the plan that they've outlined since the beginning. Their original strategy outlined releasing a consumer-friendly, affordable camera, then a high-end compact, then an SLR, and then eventually a fully mechanical SLR. Additionally, there isn't really any really good half-frame cameras on the market now, especially with any type of decent manual control. I've been using the Kodak Ektar camera, and I like shooting a half-frame camera, and I really do find a use for it in my camera rotation, but I just don't love like the cheapness of it. You know, it feels like a really cheap plastic disposable camera, which I don't love. I think a compact, higher quality version of this seemingly really popular camera could do great. Regardless, I do think the success of Pentax and the future of Pentax cameras will be heavily influenced by the success of this camera. With that being said, I don't think this camera is really aimed at you or me. It's more so aimed at the entry-level people who want to try to get into film, but don't really know where to start or don't really want to pay for a, I guess, more legitimate camera, for lack of better terms. I could really see this camera being sold in like an Urban Outfitters or something where people who like that aesthetic and are kind of in adjacent art industries or fashion or whatever see film and they're interested, but don't really have a fairly easy means to get into the hobby. I know my initial kind of disappointment, and I'm sure many of you felt the same way, seems like it's coming from a bad or negative place, but I don't want that to be the takeaway from the video. Ultimately, I'm really excited for the camera, and I'll definitely be picking it up. I really do find a use for the half-frame cameras, and I think that having a more legitimate, robust one to throw into my backpack or in the truck when I go out shooting could be a really useful little tool for the future. Also, I think a little bit of my disappointment just comes from wanting a more hard-bodied, like I said, legitimate mechanical film camera, which we'll get down the road. I think that this is obviously just to see how much interest there is, to get funding, and to ultimately try to create some more cameras that I think Pentax would be more interested in creating down the line. But obviously they kind of have to set the tone and get some funding, and they're not gonna be able to create a camera that's for more niche, advanced, professional level photographers if they don't have any type of backing for it. So I think that this is a good sign regardless. So what do you guys think about the camera? I think my perception of it has changed, especially from the last video, but I think that it's a good one. You know, I think I have an understanding of why Pentax kind of has to go down this route as a business to make it make sense, and hopefully it makes sense to you. Otherwise, I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on the camera down in the comments below. Is this something you could see yourself picking up? Or I could really see myself getting this and giving it as a gift to maybe one of my nieces or nephews down the road once they're a little bit older. Otherwise, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Until the next video, peace out, stay safe, stay shooting. Adios.